Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to PayPal at Deem by any means. There go to Cash App. $ Deem by any means. Y'all know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $3, $30, $300, $3,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. And I want to say thanks to all the people in the Cash App that showed support yesterday, man. I see y'all. Just want to give y'all that acknowledgement, man. Let you know I've been wary about naming people who donate because I don't know how they feel about that, getting their names out there. Some people just be wanting to donate, incognito. So, y'all know who y'all is and y'all know how much I appreciate it, man. So thank you. Um, David Benavidez, thank you for calling out this man. Thank you for telling the truth. Thank you for letting this man know that you see, that you saw, that you know that he is ducking you, man. And I've given my 5 criterias to why I feel as though that Canelo Alvarez is ducking David Benavidez. And here we go. Number one, more money. I feel as though, but understand this, y'all, before I get into it, all 5 have to apply to that particular fighter versus that particular fighter. Hear me out. When you can make the most money, that's one of them. If that person people want to see you fight, you have potential of making the most money with. That's one criteria. Shout out to Fanon for breaking it down to me the difference between the criteria and the rules. And I know what criteria and rules mean, but saying that these aren't rules, they're just criteria to something that would be a rule. So more money. When people want you to see you fight a certain fighter and you could get more legacy, more credit, when there's no promotional companies involved that is stopping you from making this fight. That's a big one because we understand when it comes to the money and every the other 2 things that I just mentioned, that's going to play a big factor in that. Number 4, when you don't have a mandatory in a way, especially somebody that's a mandatory at another division, I mean, at another promotional company. But even if he's not at another promotional company, the fact that you don't have a mandatory that the sanctioning body is putting pressure on to make you fight him, and he's not willing to take step aside money or whatever that situation is. And then number 5, the public, when everybody's clamoring for this fight. Those are my 5 criterias to call a fighter a duck. To call a fighter a duck. Those are my 5 criterias for it. And every last single one of them fits David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. They're on the same promotional company. This will be the most money he will make out of all the fights he could take. He would get the most credit for it. Absolutely. He doesn't have a mandatory in a way, and his mandatory would be David Benavidez when he does. And the public is clamoring for it. He has no reason to not fight that man, and I'm glad David Benavidez is calling it out and stop playing nice. If you ask me, I think David Benavidez should have stopped playing nice a long time ago because you don't get to. I hate this thing where it's like, even with my guy Tank, just because they at the top of the sport, they have to fight top competition all the time. It is no you at the top of the mountain. Now, I made a video a couple months ago about Tank being able to do whatever he wants to do. And what I was meaning by that is that no, he has a responsibility to fight the best fighters. He just ain't got to fight them when, what, where, and why when that fighter is calling him out. David Benavidez has been waiting. Tank Davis has never made nobody wait that has been where he is at in that weight class for that amount of time, and is actually weren't all those other criterias in the way of making that fight. He hasn't done that to nobody. Y'all see Frank Martin just got that offer. So you see that he hasn't done that to anybody. I'm pretty sure if Oscar De La Hoya will go up there and let him fight yeah, man, I can't think of the guy's name right now. Damn. William Zepeda. I'm pretty sure they have made that because Oscar has a propensity to sit up there and make deals with the PBC or Top Rank or whoever to make promotional co-promotional fights. So when you don't have all those other criterias and a way for making a fight, then make the fight. I agree with everybody, but you have the responsibility to fight top competition, even if it's not the top guys, the number one or number two guy. It gotta be somebody in that top five. Now, I'm not saying that Kami Mangia is not in that top five, but if we're being honest, there's Jaime Mangia. If he's anything, he's fifth. More like sixth, though, for real, but he's fifth. There's other guys at 168 that we think are more prominent. There's Jamal Charlo, David Benavidez, Canelo himself, and David Morrell. So there's other guys, and to me, Caleb Plant is better than Jaime Mangia. That's just to me. It's just Jaime Mangia has never faced the type. If he would have faced the same guys that Caleb Plant lost to, he would have lost too. Y'all like that? If he would have faced the same guys that Caleb Plant lost to, he would have lost too. That's just my opinion. So I just got to be honest about where things are at, and I'm glad David Benavidez is putting foot on neck. He's putting belt to behind. He's putting pressure where he putting pressure to make a diamond, because this is what you got to do. He deserves this fight. He has been waiting in the wings. He has been taking good fights up into that. David Benavidez has been giving us fights that we have been asking for. Now, David Morrell, we gonna see, but so far the other guys we have actually seen him fight, he has fought. So Canelo needs to come out here and fight this man. And I'm going to give a little leeway because one of the people on Fanon channel on the Bull, Kyle Porter, he made something, and me and him don't get along about anything because I think he a troll in a lot of ways, unnecessarily. But he said, we got to wait to see how the whole 2024 goes out. We don't know if he going to fight David Benavidez or not. They could say whatever. Canelo could say he won 150 million, and I don't get into all that with people say, because as we know, these boxers be fibbing like crazy. All they do is fib. Terrence Crawford, prime example, and I'm a Crawford fan, but my guy be capping a lot. It is what it is. Like, it just is what it is. But they can we gotta wait and see if the whole 2024 he don't fight this man. So I ain't gonna call him an all right out duck, but I feel as though he is ducking, because I do not believe that fight will happen. If you believe it's going to happen this year, then you ain't got to go as far as I'm gonna go with it. But I don't believe he's going to fight David Benavidez this year at all, because I see no reason for him not to want to fight him right now. You don't wait as you get older to fight somebody like David Benavidez, who's just entering his prime. If anything, you get him the way Floyd Mayweather got you when you're just entering your prime. And David Benavidez is a little bit past that. He entered his prime. David Benavidez is just entering his prime age-wise, but as far as competition and what he has displayed so far, he's a little past that. He's a little past where Canelo was when he fought Floyd Mayweather's. So this fight got to happen, and I'm just glad that David Benavidez is not cutting no ties. He's letting it be known. He put it in English and Spanish. That's gangster. He put it in English and Spanish. Shout out to David Benavidez. My fifth favorite fighter. Go check out my top 10 favorite fighters right now video. Great video. David Benavidez, my fifth favorite fighter. And these are things that he does that makes me like David Benavidez a lot. Because I just believe he's just the talent that you don't get to see. I think we got to appreciate these guys, especially where the state of boxing is at. It ain't too many David Benavidez's and David Morrells and Canelos and Bud Crawfords and Errol Spence's and Tanks and Noah Inoways and Arthur Baturi. It ain't too many of those guys just laying around. Xander Zayas, Raymond Matala, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. It ain't too many of those guys just laying around. So we got to appreciate all of them. That's why y'all know I be on Devin and Bill neck, 40 mil Bill, what they call them. What you going to do when 35K is all you do? You going to sit up there and say that you trying to shop a fight and you never really offered Shakur Stevenson anything. But we still got to appreciate these fighters. That's why I support Devin. That's why I make videos about Devin, good and bad. Shout out to Devin Haney for getting that prom deal. Energy drink. I mean, big time, major, because I think a lot of boxers should be getting more energy drinks and hydration drinks because they're boxers. Nobody's sweating and putting in harder work than them. Boxers will really outlast a lot of your most famous athletes because boxing training is just different. They're made to get punched. They're training to be fatigued. Everybody else ain't trained. They're training to have stamina. Boxers are training so hard. Forget once we're past the stamina, can you take punishment and still have stamina? That's the question. So we got to appreciate these fighters. And I just appreciate David Benavidez and what he's bringing to the sport. One of the biggest stars in boxing. Y'all got to go support and buy this man fights. Which I know he's going to do a very successful pay-per-view being a co-main with Gervonta Davis for sure. And I know he's going to get a nice little cut off that because I know Gervonta Davis got respect for David Benavidez. I know Al Heyman does. So I know that David Benavidez bag, they understand what he's bringing to that pay-per-view. And that Tank is of course Tank is my guy. Don't get it twisted. Everybody tuning in for Tank, but we also tuning in for David Benavidez, and that's what you're supposed to do as a promotional company is handle business that way and make people actually interested. Do the opposite of what they're doing with Devin and Ryan. Do the complete opposite of what they're doing with Devin and Ryan. And you'll be okay. I promise you'll be all right. But listen here, man. Shout out to David Benavidez, Canelo. It looked like you're ducking to me, man. I'm gonna give you to December. I'm gonna give you to the end of December, my guy. How many days December got? December 31st, my guy. You got into December 31st to make this happen, my G. And if you don't, January 1st, 2025, I'm on you. I'm on you. Because it makes no sense to not fighting now when you're 33 years old, about to be 34 years old, or if you might be 34 now, I'm not sure, but I know you one of those ages because Canelo's not that much older than I am. So I already know, my G, you got to fight this young guy now. Don't wait to fight this man until you're 37, 38, and he's really in his prime. He's 30 years old, ready to go, like for real now. Like he's a man. Like it'd just be bad. You'll definitely lose by devastating knockout. Absolutely. So y'all know what this is, man. Dean, by any means. And I holla at y'all.